Number one, credit reports aren't always accurate.
That's very true.
This is very true.
That is very
It's got
true.
to be true. It's got to be accurate. If it's not, if it's written down, it's accurate.
Yeah,
Can't put anything on the internet that's not true.
Yeah, there can always be inaccuracies within your credit report. That's why it's so important when we talk to our clients. Awareness. Actively monitoring your credit, understanding how to read a credit report is so important because you can easily find that there are inaccuracies. And there definitely are, and so it's very important to stay in tune with that.
So according to this, 80% of credit reports either have a mistake or an error on it. That's 80%.
Yep. Yeah.
And maybe it's a small one, but maybe that small one is the 2 points that you need to get up to 680.
Exactly.
That's going to save you $70, $80, $100 a month.
Well, it's important to know, how the credit bureaus operate. A lot of people don't understand that they're for-profit businesses. They're competitors, right? For-profit. They're making money on our data. That's what they're doing. So,
everyone's making money on our data.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. And so, if you think about just data nonstop getting dumped right on the bureaus, and it gets tied to your personal, your information. Thing is, there's no real verification process happening, and so that's why mistakes can easily happen. So once again, as a person out there, it's very important to have awareness of your credit report and monitor that, so that way you can keep track if there is anything on there that's inaccurate.
Number two, pulling your credit score will lower it.
Ooh, I like that one.
And it's a little bit of a trick question
Yep.
because it's talking about soft pull and it's talking about a hard inquiry. So I'd love to hear more about
There's
that.
a difference. There's a difference there. So when we talked about credit monitoring, that does not lower your score. You're not applying for anything. Think of it like that. If you're not applying for something and it's more for awareness purposes, like I'm just pulling my data, there's no negative impact to score. But when it's a credit seeking inquiry, when you're seeking more of something, right? That's when there's going to be that inquiry that can negatively impact your score.
I think that's a huge misconception.
It
Because
is.
I think most people think, if
Can't pull it.
Can't pull it. Don't pull your credit.
Yep.
Don't pull it.
And
Got
credit
to see where it's
cards now,
at.
too, don't they? What is that, a soft pull when the credit cards monitor your credit score?
So
for
when
you
they're
and stuff?
monitoring it, that would be considered soft.
Okay.
But if you're applying, then that would be considered a hard inquiry.
Yeah.
On the mortgage side of things, you have a 14-day window to have as many other lenders pull your credit as possible, and you only get dinged for one pull. So that's the true in the auto industry too. Is 14-day window there too that you know of?
Yep.
If you go and apply for credit cards, right? It's shopping spree Saturday, right? We're going to go to Menards. I'm going to open up a Menards card so I can get the discount,
Bed
right?
Bath & Beyond.
Yep, Bed Bath & Beyond. They
Yep.
got 15% off if you open up an account with them. I'm going to open up an account with them, get that discount. And you go to 5 different department stores, let's say, or stores out there, and you open
Busy day.
you open a deal, right? Look at all the money I saved. Well, each one of those polls now is going to lower your score 5 to 15 points. So you may have just dropped your credit score 65 points in one day because you opened up 5 different accounts at 5 different stores.
Yep.
Right? On the
That's
mortgage
good.
side of things, you apply with one and now you want to get some quotes from some other ones. And so you do that within that 14-day window. Those subsequent polls, they're not dinging your score because you're doing it within that 14-day window. So just know that there's different rules around that piece of
Which is
having a
important to
credit
know.
pull, too.
That's mortgage, auto, and student loans.
And student loans.
That's good to know. My son just bought
Those
a truck,
three, they
so-
allow you to shop.
All right, number 3 on our list. A higher income means you'll have a higher credit score.
100% accurate.
Yeah, where's that buzzer? Evan, where's the buzzer? There it is.
Yeah, that's actually a huge misconception. A lot of times people think their income plays a role in the score when it doesn't.
Yep.
It's all based on the data and the history within the credit report.
That's number 4. Credit scores and credit reports are the same.
That's to me a little bit of a trick question.
It is
They're not the same, but they are related to one another,
They are related.
right? So your score is an indication of the report, the data within the report.
So they're talking about what are the 3 big credit reports? What are they?
So you have TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. So those are the main credit bureaus. They're the ones that are housing all the data.
Yeah.
And then you have a third party that's used to pull credit. So like where, if you're pulling with Mike, when
Yeah.
it comes to mortgage, if you're pulling, even online credit monitoring, Credit
Yeah.
Karma, those are all like kind of third parties. And then they're going to use the FICO algorithm or whatever credit score algorithm they're using
Sure.
to spit out a score based on that data.
So the 3 big bureaus. So we talked about business credit real briefly in the beginning of the show. How is there a credit bureau for
Yes.
Business credit? And what's that?
Yeah, so Dun & Bradstreet's the big one.
Okay.
Then there's TransUnion and Equifax Business.
Oh, really?
Yep, they have a business division now.
I didn't know
They
that.
have for a little while, but
Yeah.
they're Dun & Bradstreet's the big player.
Yep.
But now the bureaus are entering into that field.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to, the thing to remember is Paydex score.
Okay.
So as there's FICO for lending personally,
Yep.
there's Paydex for business.
And how does that work? How do those scores range?
So there's a big difference there in score
Yep.
range. Like, it's up to 850 for FICO.
Okay.
It's up to 100 for Paydex.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a big difference. So like
Interesting.
as you're building business credit, a lot of times what we're doing with our clients is the initial goal is to hit 70 plus.
Okay.
But really you want to get to like that 80 to 100 range.
Yep.
That's showing the ability to repay. And the huge difference between the two is business credit. I always let people know this. It's about how much do you have? Are you paying it? And how quickly? It's so simple. It's just about literally building it,
Yep.
having it, and paying it. Net
Yep.
30 terms or less is better.
okay.
That will build up your Paydex score faster. Where with personal credit, as we all know, because we talk about it all the time, there are so many variables around your personal credit score. Whereas, once again, that's why I love business so much. It's like, it's very straightforward.
Yep. Number 5 on our list, debt settlement removes debt from your credit report.
Oh man, this is a great one. You found a great list this time.
Thank you.
I love it. we battle this misconception so much. Like we have I love that one. Yes, we have a Facebook group called Free Credit Repair Advice, and we have
Yes.
close to 80,000 members.
Wow.
Extremely active group that we manage in Facebook, and that is one of the biggest posts is about debt settlement and removal of the account. What people have to understand is that just because you pay it or settle it does not mean it's removed. In fact, in most cases, it remains on there.
And a lot of times, it still reports that you owe the balance on your credit report. So I have
Yeah.
a collection account out there. I paid that thing off in full. Still shows that I owe a balance on it on my credit report. And
Yep.
it's months later. What the heck?
This type
Yeah.
of stuff happens all the time. So like there's so many variables involved. Like one, collections get bought and sold. So you're getting a call, it's tax time, refund time, you got money. I want to fix my credit, right? They're getting calls by collection companies. You can pick it up. Yep, I know I want to pay that. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pay that. Oh, I can settle for 60% of the balance. Great, I'll pay that off. Thing is, what's on the report could have been a different collection company for the same debt that reported based on the one that's actually calling you now. So there's a lot of variables involved in that.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're actually, effectively taking care of it in the right way. Another thing too is that when you pay it off, a lot of people assume that it's then removed. The thing is, let's say it's even that company that you did pay. If it gets updated to just a zero balance, such as happens in most cases there, that update actually causes an additional negative impact, stays on there now as a zero balance, still a derogatory negative debt in your history.
So a part of the settlement, can you have the removal be a part of the...
In some cases,
Some
yes.
case, okay.
Yep. And that's really, I think, what's really has sprung this more so lately
Yep.
with people is that they assume that that's out there, and it is. You have to negotiate it, and they have to do it within their terms, meaning not all collection companies can do that.
Sure.
Only some do.
Okay.
Like if you have like medical is a really popular one. A lot of medical collection companies have it part of their protocol to delete it after payment.
Got it.
But then there's a lot of let's say maybe you had a credit card that went bad or utility bill or certain things like that. A lot of those collection companies will not remove it. In fact, cannot.
Okay.
So you have to be able to effectively vet that. And that's a part of what we do at Credit Life with our clients is based on the starting point. We already know who will do payment for deletion and who won't. And so what we'll do, a part of our practice is let's go through and investigate and challenge because the first question, we know that not all reports are accurate.
80% or not.
And so there's
Yep.
laws around that empower you as a consumer. We're going to exercise your legal rights. We're going to challenge things in a way that's difficult to verify. Let's attempt to get it removed first. Then let's go and now settle and negotiate a settlement for the least amount. So you save the most amount of money. That process right there essentially guarantees that you're going to be improving your credit.